My dad scoffed when I walked into the room. "He's just a barista," he muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. My sister's new husband, meeting me for the first time, shook my hand and froze, his face draining of color. He whipped out his phone, tapped a few times, and suddenly the room went quiet. My dad's always acted like I'm invisible, not in a dramatic "you're dead to me" way, but in this slow, deliberate erasure. No mentions in family chats, no invites to reunions, no place in his stories. He wanted a son who'd wear tailored suits and talk stocks over brunch. Instead, he got me. A guy who dropped out of college at 20 and started working coffee shops. To him, I was a nobody, a punchline. He made sure the whole family saw me that way too. So, I stopped showing up, skipped the holiday dinners, the posed photos, the family group texts. That is, until my sister Lauren's wedding last weekend. It was a swanky affair. Think velvet tablecloths, crystal chandeliers, and a venue that screamed old money. I wasn't invited to the rehearsal dinner or the bridal brunch, but my grandma, the only one in the family who's ever had my back, insisted I get an invite. So, I showed up, dark jeans, crisp shirt, no fuss. My plan? Blend in, nod politely, and dip out before the cake was cut. Yeah, that didn't happen. As soon as I walked in, I heard my dad already halfway through a whiskey, sneering, "Oh, Ethan, probably steaming milk at some hipster cafe. He'd be out of place here." The room chuckled. Even my mom gave a weak laugh. I bit my tongue, hands twitching, not from shame, but from the effort of not snapping back. I kept my head down and moved through the crowd. Lauren and her new husband Mark made their grand entrance. Lauren spotted me and looked startled. Mark had no clue who I was. Not yet. When they finally made their way over, Lauren gave me a tight smile. "Ethan, didn't expect you here," she said. "Got an invite," I replied flatly. She looked away. Mark stuck out his hand. "Mark, nice to meet you. You're Ethan," I said. "Same last name as Lauren." His eyebrows shot up. He pulled out his phone, pretending to check something, but I saw him Googling me. His eyes flicked from the screen to my face, then back again. He went pale, muttered something about needing a drink, and bolted. Lauren frowned. "What's his deal?" I shrugged. "No clue. Here's the part my family never bothered to know. Yeah, I started as a barista, but I didn't stay there. 8 years ago, I launched a small batch coffee brand. It was just me, a roaster, and a dream. Then a food blogger raved about it. A celebrity chef placed an order, and a national chain signed a deal. By 27, I bought out my co-founder. By 29, my beans were in cafes across 4 continents. I don't sling espresso anymore. I own the espresso. My company employs 75 people, and the coffee served at Lauren's wedding? That was mine. But my family never asked, so they never knew." Mark whispered to his best man, then to his cousin. Phones started popping out. Whispers spread like a virus. My dad swaggered over, fake smile plastered on. "Ethan, didn't know you'd make it. Got an invite," I said again. "Still pouring coffee, huh?" he jabbed. I'd had enough. "Haven't touched a portafilter in 6 years," I said. "The coffee in your cup? That's mine." He laughed, thinking I was joking. I walked to the bar, asked the barista, "You using Apex for the house brew?" She grinned. "Yeah, Apex Reserve. Best stuff we've got. You a fan?" "I'm the founder," I said. Her jaw dropped. "No way." I didn't need to look back to know my dad was standing there, hearing every word, his smug grin dissolving. The mood shifted after that. My mom looked like she'd been slapped with a wet fish. Lauren tried to play it cool, but her hands were trembling. People were sneaking Google searches under the table. One of Mark's buddies pulled up a magazine article. The barista who built a coffee empire. Suddenly, I wasn't invisible anymore. Aunts I hadn't spoken to in a decade started hovering. An uncle who once said I'd amount to nothing tried to clap me on the back like we were pals. I brushed them off. The best part? Seeing my dad, standing alone by the bar, coffee untouched, looking like he just found out his car had a better credit score than him. I didn't say another word to him. Didn't need to. I stayed just long enough for the whispers to turn into a buzz, for everyone who'd smirked at me to realize they'd backed the wrong horse. Then I left. No speech, no grand exit, just gone. The cherry on top? Lauren texted me later. "Did you have to embarrass him like that?" I replied, "Did I, or did the truth handle it all by itself?"